Hi, you all. Well, we're just waiting for a few people to come in, and then we'll start with today's Bible readings. So, just a couple of minutes, giving everybody a chance just to come in, and then we'll start. And I'll get my book. What I've got written here. And hopefully we get a few people in, but I guess we'll just see what happens. So yeah, we have written down here Genesis 6 and 7, Psalm 4, and Matthew 4. So just giving everybody a couple of minutes just to come in, and then we'll start. And I do know a few people will run this back later, and of course those of you who watch this later and listen to this later, you're much appreciated also. And I'll just go and grab my phone so that I can keep up with things on chat. Okay, so we should be able to keep up with things on chat now because sometimes Melon, which I'm using today, can sort of run a bit behind. So who do we have here at the moment? Just giving everybody a minute here just to come in. Oh, I've got to brighten this webcam up somehow too. I bet it's not really that dim in here. But anyway, it is what it is, I guess. So we're going to start off today at Genesis 6 and 7. And of course, I'm reading from the New King James Version. If anybody's interested in what version I have. So we're just going to open to Genesis 6. So Genesis 6. Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, of all whom they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, For he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And verse 11, the earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you shall make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. And behold, I myself am bringing flood waters on the earth to destroy from under heaven all flesh, which is the breath of life. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female, of the birds of their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. 2 of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. And you shall take for yourself of all food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did, according to all that God commanded him, so he did. And now we shall go on to chapter 7 of Genesis. Then the Lord said to Noah, come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. You shall take with you 7 each of every clean animal, a male and his female, 2 each of animals that are unclean, a male and his female, also 7 each of birds of the air, male and female, to keep the species alive on the face of all the earth. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, And I will destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have made. And Noah did according to all that the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were on the earth. So Noah and his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the floods, of clean animals, of animals that are unclean, of birds, and of everything that creeps on the earth. Two by two they went into the ark to Noah, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And verse 13. On the very same day, Noah and Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons were with them, entered the ark, they and every beast after its kind, all cattle after their kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of every sort. And they went into the ark to Noah, 2 by 2, of all flesh in which there is the breath of life. So those that entered, male and female of all flesh, went in, as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. Now the flood was on the earth 40 days. The waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and greatly increased on the earth, and the ark moved about on the surface of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly on the earth, and all the high hills under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every man, and in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life. All that was on the dry land died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the ground, both man and cattle, creeping thing and bird of the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive. And the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. It's our abundant life. Hi there, great to see you. Thanks so much for coming by here. Yeah, I started today at Genesis 6, and I've just read Genesis 7, and we're doing this every week at around this time. So those who would like to do so, please do set this on your calendars or diary or what have you. And I think today also we'll read Genesis chapter 8 as well. So I'll just note that down. Oh, thank you. And then after this, we're going to go to Psalm 4 and Matthew 4. And we just do this every week. Just reading a few passages from the New Testament, the Old Testament, I should say, starting at Genesis. We'll read one psalm or one proverb, just depending on where we're at. and one chapter from the New Testament. And hopefully we can get through the whole Bible this year. So, some weeks we might read a little bit more and some weeks a little bit less. And of course, I do have the link if somebody would like to come up and share something as well. I will drop the link out after I've read chapter 8, Genesis chapter 8. Then God remembered Noah and every living thing, and all the animals that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. The fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were also stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters receded continually from the earth. At the end of the 150 days, the waters decreased. Then the ark rested in the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. So verse 6, so it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark, which he had made. Then he sent out a raven which kept going to and fro until the waters had dried up from the earth. He also sent out from himself a dove to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. But the dove found no resting place for the sole of her foot, and she returned into the ark to him, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took her and drew her into the ark to himself. And he waited yet another 7 days. And again he sent the dove out from the ark. Then the dove came to him in the evening, and behold, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in her mouth. And Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. So he waited yet another 7 days and sent out the dove, which did not return again to him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, that the waters were dried up from the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and indeed the surface of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dried. Then God spoke to Noah, saying, go out of the ark, you and your wife, and your sons wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you, birds and cattle, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, so that they may abound on the earth, and be fruitful and multiply on the earth. So Noah went out, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every animal, every creeping thing, every bird, and whatever creeps on the earth according to their families, went out of the ark. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took of every clean animal and of every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a soothing aroma. Then the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Nor will I again destroy every living thing as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. and we'll read from Genesis 9 next week. And I'll just note this down in my journal that I have it. And we'll probably be reading Genesis 9 and 10. Whether we do an extra one, I'm not sure. We'll just see what happens. And we're going to now turn to, did I say Psalm 4? Oh, yes, Psalm 4 and then Matthew 4. Oh, and I'll drop this link if somebody's got something to share as well. So just giving everybody just a chance to turn to Psalm 4. For to the chief musician with stringed instruments, a psalm of David. Hear me when I call, O God, of my righteousness. You have relieved me in my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long, O you sons of men, will you turn my glory to shame? How long will you love worthlessness and seek falsehood? Selah. But know that the Lord has set apart for himself him who is godly. The Lord will hear when I call to him. And 4. Be angry and do not sin. Meditate within your heart on your bed and be still. Selah. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. There are many who say, who will show us any good? Lord, lift up the light of your countenance upon us. You have put gladness in my heart, more than in the season that their grain and wine increased. I will both lie down in peace and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. And we shall turn to the New Testament, the book of Matthew. And to Matthew chapter 5. And of course, if somebody here's got a verse or a passage from the Bible that you'd like to share, please do so. And for channel subscribers, I do have a link for Melon, but of course, if you want to come up and share something, of course, channel subscribers only, I'm afraid, because it's just the way things are these days. There's a lot of people just wanting to disrupt things. And of course, I must see who you are if you do wish to come up. So you'll have to have your camera on, even if I let you turn your camera off once you're up. So Matthew 5. And seeing the multitudes, he went up on a mountain, and when he was seated, his disciples came to him. Then he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they revile and persecute you, and say all kinds of evil against you falsely for my sake. And verse 12, Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its flavour, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing, but shall be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For assuredly I say to you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle will by no means pass from the law till all is fulfilled. Whoever therefore breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches men so shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does and teaches them, he shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say to you, that unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. And 21, you have heard it was said to those of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say to you that whoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whoever says to his brother, Raca, shall be in danger of the council. But whoever says, You fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Agree with your adversary quickly while you're on the way with him, lest your adversary deliver you to the judge and the judge hand you over to the officer and you be thrown into prison. Assuredly, I say to you, you will by no means get out of there till you have paid the last penny. And 27. You have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that whoever looks at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you. For it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and cast it off from you. For it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. Therefore it has been said, whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that whoever divorces his wife for any reason except sexual immorality causes her to commit adultery, and whoever marries a woman who is divorced commits adultery. And 33. Again you have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform your oaths to the Lord. But I say to you, do not swear at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, nor by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Nor shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make one hair white or black. But let your yes be yes and your no be no. For whatever is more than is from evil. 38. Oh, thank you. So now at 38. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you not to resist an evil person. But whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other to him also. If anyone wants to sue you and take away your tunic, let him have your cloak also. And whoever compels you to go 1 mile, go with him too. Give to him who asks you, and from him who wants to borrow from you, do not turn away. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you do more than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. So does anybody have something you'd like to share, or prayer requests or praise requests? And next week we're going to be reading Genesis 9 and 10. Maybe we'll read some more from Genesis. Psalm 5 and Matthew 5, and we may read some more. It just depends how it all goes. Can vary. We can read more. And of course, if anybody's got any requests too, passages you'd like to share, or praise requests, prayer requests, or testimonies, anything you'd like to share, please do so. No questions? You can ask questions as well, of course. And if I don't know the answer, there might be somebody here who knows the answer that can share as well. So a really great opportunity there. And, you know, in the future, we may even get some people wanting to come up and share some insights or knowledge as well, which is most welcome. And I do have the link up here for Mel, if anybody wants to come up and share something as well. And I certainly don't mind if somebody does have an insight to share or a prayer to share as well, or, you know, some great hymns or great videos, testimonies to the Lord, of course. And I do have some in the description, hymns and testimonies and that sort of thing, in some playlists. So please feel free to check those out. And we'll just give everybody about 5 or so minutes, just if you've got something you wish to share, and then we will call it a day. I've got alerts coming here all the time. Oh yes, I just want to say I love how God said, then he saw, and he tells us that the power of life in death are in the tongue. Yes, there's a lot of power in the tongue. Yes, so true. I know that I'm trying to think when it was, sometime back last year, we actually did a couple of studies on that in church. So that was really quite interesting. I don't know if I can find in my journal here. Could be turning back a fair way to find that one. But I can always share the verses that we'd studied on that day if I've got them. Oh yes, I've got written down here. So yeah, we just on that day we studied Proverbs 18. So chapter 18, verse 21. James chapter 3, verse 8. Matthew chapter 16, verse 18. Revelation chapter 1, verse 18. Romans chapter 12, verse 9. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26. And Luke chapter 16, verse 11. So if anybody would like to look those up, please do feel free. And then we spoke of, on that day, God's everlasting love, Romans chapter 8, verse 38. So, of course, if there's something like that we've studied before, that somebody comes here and reminds me of, if I've got those verses written down, we could always go and check those ones and share those. So yeah, I'll just give 5 more minutes and then I'll call it a day here and cut it off unless somebody wants to come up and share something. As I've done a lot of reading out already, so good just to have a bit of a rest and just a quiet reflection on what I've read out today and what we've shared. And we're sort of looking, about 30 minutes or so every week for this live stream of sharing the word. And of course, the current time here, if anybody's interested, it's Sunday afternoon here, and it's 4:09 p.m. So I know it's Saturday evening for you all, but for me here it's Sunday as I do this. So I sort of hold it Sunday afternoon because of the crazy time differences. It gives me a chance to go to church in the morning and to study when the weeks of church is on. And I want everybody just to maybe listen to and learn from as you all go to bed on a Saturday evening, of course. I know last year I did do it a couple of times. This was like Monday around midday for me, but then it was sort of at a time it was Sunday morning for you all, and a lot of you were busy getting ready to go to church yourselves, so it was a bit hard for everybody just to be here. I thought I might have seen Troy, but he must be busy. Of course, if Troy comes in, I always have to go and share verse Psalms, his favourite psalm, so which I'm always happy to go and do if he's here with us. But we hope to get through the whole Bible this year, so some weeks I might sort of read a couple more passages, or of course, if we get somebody come up and wants to share some passages, that would be lovely. And yeah, be happy to have anybody sort of want to come up um, and have something to share. So we'll be here for another minute, and then I'll call it a day. And meditate on what I've read today. Oh, that'd be lovely, yes, and you'd be most welcome. And I know we've had one or two come up in the past as well with something to share. We did have Amanda a few weeks back. Amanda in the Beg Brigade. I'm trying to think of her exact channel name, but we had Amanda come up. We've had Simply Jan in the past as well, so it's always good if we do have somebody come and join in. Anyways, I'm going to thank everybody who's been here and watched and listened, and of course I'll thank everybody who does replay this one later. I know there's quite a few that do replay these later. Yeah, good night. And God bless everybody. And thank you so much. And I'll be back for this particular one next week at around this time. And of course, my ordinary live streams and videos will be as usual. So until next time, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.